A major setback for President Trump's agenda. A federal court has blocked him from using emergency powers to enforce sweeping tariffs.
Yeah, a panel of 3 judges, all appointed by different presidents, ruled that President Trump exceeded his authority during last month's Liberation Day when he announced a 10% tariff against most nations in order to get around the usual requirement of congressional approval. Mr. Trump justified the tariffs through the 1977 International Emergency Economic Powers Act. The order blocks the 10% baseline tariff, but does leave in place other tariffs that the president has issued. Elon Musk is formally leaving his role as an advisor to President Trump. He was in charge of DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. On his social media site X, Musk said the DOGE mission to reduce wasteful spending will only strengthen over time. The departure comes one day after Musk criticized the president's budget bill, but Musk was already set to leave tomorrow. He's been reducing his government work for several weeks, he says, to focus on his companies, including Tesla and SpaceX. The U.S. will soon revoke visas of some Chinese international students.
United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio says this includes students with connections to the Chinese Communist Party, those studying in critical fields as well. About 277,000 Chinese students attend U.S. universities in 2024. This move comes as the Trump administration continues to increase deportations as part of its immigration agenda. Rubio says the U.S. will also change its criteria on future visa applications from China and Hong Kong as well. The war between Ukraine and Russia appears to be escalating.
Yeah, Moscow is fighting President Trump on the diplomatic front while increasing attacks on Ukraine's defensive lines. Fox's Alex Hogan has the story.
As the weather gets warmer, the fighting in Ukraine is intensifying, with both sides now preparing for a new summer offensive. Russia has reportedly gathered some 50,000 troops near Ukraine's Sumy region in the northeast. They've been hitting that area hard over the past few days, along with significant air attacks on Ukrainian cities. President Trump says Russian President Vladimir Putin is, quote, playing with fire, a criticism rejected by Moscow.
Trump says a lot of things. We come to the conclusion that Trump hasn't got sufficient information about what's really going on.
The White House is now reportedly preparing a new round of sanctions on Russia, hoping to force Putin back to the bargaining table.
Do you still believe that Putin actually wants to end the war?
I can't tell you that, but I'll let you know in about 2 weeks.
But critics say it won't work because Russia has pivoted away from trade with the U.S.
The Russians don't seem to be taking President Trump very seriously. It's a sort of schizophrenic message coming out of them.
Meanwhile, Ukraine's European allies are increasing their support. All range restrictions on missiles supplied to the Ukrainian military have been lifted, and more of those missiles are on their way to Ukraine, making it easier to take the fight to the Russians.
When we talk about more long-range weapons for our soldiers, we are talking about how to reduce Russian offensive actions.
Russia's foreign minister says the next round of ceasefire talks will be announced soon. They're expected to take place in Turkey. In London, Alex Hogan, Fox News.